Hey guys, welcome back to Life of Bliss. My name is Kyle. If you guys have not been to the channel here before, this is a little different video than I am used to putting out. I normally do a lot of home theater content, DIY projects, things like that. But today we have a new truck that we recently bought. I wanted to share some of the experiences that I've had with that vehicle. And it is not the 1972 C10 here behind me. It is a 2023 Sierra AT4 with the LZ0 diesel motor. So I wanted to share some of my positive experiences, some of the negatives, just kind of give you a first 1,000 miles type video. So without further ado, I present to you Little D. So here you go, guys, my Little D. Now, as I say that, I don't know if that's the best name for the truck, but we're gonna stick with it. I like it, and of course, it's because it is the baby Duramax, the 3.0 liter Duramax instead of the 6.6 liter. So little Duramax, Little D, makes sense, right? Yeah, I think so. So like I mentioned, I thought I would do a first 1,000 miles type video. It is a 2023 GMC Sierra AT4. I bought it brand new. It's got about 1,400 miles on it right now, but I've got enough miles on it to understand how it's performing and kind of give you some insight on how I feel the motor does versus the 6.2 gas motor. And I feel like I've got a pretty good hold on that because we've had a 2016 Escalade now for several years that does have that 6.2 gas motor in it. So there are some obvious differences between those two, so I want to touch on those. This truck does come with the 6.2 as well as the 5.3 liter gas motor. So again, just wanted to talk about some of the things I liked and disliked going from a 6.2 gas to a 3.0 diesel that this has. So let's jump in the shop and talk about some stuff. All right, so again, this is not the normal type of video that I do, but I do want to make a lot of content on this truck because it's been a while since I've had a truck and done a lot to some vehicles, so I want to make some content on that. Now, first off, I do have several things lined up for videos for this truck. I've got some running boards from Boost Auto that I've installed. I'm gonna do an install and short review video on those. I did a complete ceramic coat on the vehicle, which that was a lot of work. I'm gonna have a video on that as well. And also I plasti dipped or hyper dipped all of my chrome emblems black. So I'll be going over a lot of those processes in some upcoming videos. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, be sure to subscribe down below to be updated when those videos come out. All right, now on to gas mileage. So that is probably one of the best things about this truck. This is a full-size pickup, 1,500 half-ton pickup, and I was getting on average 21 to 22 miles a gallon for the past 3 fill-ups. Now, I don't take a lot of long trips. Most of my driving is in town, whether it be dropping the kids off at school, going to the store, going to the gym, something like that. So I'm never really getting on roads over 55 mile an hour speed limit unless I go out of town. But yeah, average, I'm getting 21 to 22. On our 6.2 liter gas motor, we are getting 16 miles a gallon. Anywhere between 15, maybe 16 and a half mile a gallon is about what we're getting. So there is definitely a jump in gas mileage that I'm seeing with this diesel motor. And again, just to specify, this is the LZ0 diesel motor that's in this truck. I believe it's on the 22s and higher, maybe it's the 23s and higher. So I'm not talking about the LM2, I specifically have the LZ0. Now there was one trip that I took about an hour-long drive and I was taking some back roads. I got 34 mile a gallon for that trip. Now I was playing the hills a little bit and trying to get the best mileage that I could, but guys, 34 miles a gallon in a full-size truck is absolutely ridiculous. So you can achieve high miles per gallon with these. I've seen a lot of people on the forums post that they're averaging above 26 miles a gallon. And you know, they're probably doing a lot more longer trips than what I am, but if you are going to be doing some highway miles on these trucks, you're going to be getting a lot better gas mileage than you will be with the 6.2 liter variant. Now everyone's going to say, oh, well, diesel's a lot higher price. You're going to be paying more for diesel. Yeah, that's true. Our diesel here in the Midwest where I'm at, it's about $1, maybe $1.25 more expensive than gas. And that's the low tier gas. So if you're looking at medium or premium grade, you're going to be closing that gap a little bit. But around here, it is about 25 to 30% higher for diesel than what you're paying for gas. Now that said, I think I'm making up that difference when I'm looking at 16 miles a gallon versus 21 and a half miles a gallon with that diesel. So I am making up that difference in the mileage. So it's probably averaging out to be close to the same as far as what you're paying per mile, but just know you will be getting that extra mileage out of that diesel. Now, another big concern online on the forums and on the Facebook groups is the oil consumption of this motor. Now, I know the LM2 motors had some oil consumption issues. I know some people have complained about the LZOs as well. I have not personally seen any oil consumption going on. I've checked the dipstick several times. There has been no lowering of oil on there, and I know they overfill these from the factory, so I mean it's at the very top of that dipstick where it should be. But again, I have not seen any oil consumption, any major oil consumption, put it that way. But I have read that these will burn a little bit of oil just as they break in. So I'm sure over the next 5 to 10,000 miles, as the motor completely breaks in, there might be a little oil consumption, but I don't think that I'm going to have the issues that maybe some of these others are complaining about, this large oil consumption where they're adding 1 or 2 quarts each oil change to make sure that their motor has enough oil. So again, right now, I personally have not seen that issue. Now, the biggest thing going from a gas vehicle to a newer diesel vehicle is obviously the emission systems on the diesels. Now, I don't want to say I have a lot of worries about it, but if I had concerns in the vehicle thus far, it would be in the emission systems, the DPF, the DEF system, all of that. I've never had a diesel. I've never had to deal with any of that, but I will say, as far as the DEF fluid goes, it came halfway full from the dealer. It's got the gauge in there to tell you how much DEF there is, which is the diesel emissions fluid. It's that little blue cap next to your gas cap there. By the way, don't get those mixed up. It's going to be a very costly expense if that happens. But in the 1,400 miles that I have driven it, there is 8 tickers on that gauge. It was filled halfway up, and it's only dropped down 1 tick on that gauge, so or 1 marker. So it really doesn't use a lot just in standard normal driving. I have towed my 20-foot trailer 1 time with it, just for something real light down the road and back. Obviously, it tows like a dream. It has plenty of power. That's a great thing about diesel. It's got that power real down low in the torque range versus the gas motors. But again, that diesel, the emission system, that is something that hopefully I won't have any issues with, but it seems like if there's issues with these trucks, it's involving that diesel emission system. I know probably everyone's gonna think or say, just delete it, just get rid of that DEF system, delete the truck. That's not available for the truck, first off. They're just now coming out with the delete systems for the LP5 motors, I believe, the 6.6, the newer 6.6 diesel motors from GMC and Chevy. And they just started coming out with a tune for the LM2, so I don't think they have a delete for the LM2 quite yet, but that motor's been out since, I believe, 2019, and they're just now coming with a system to delete those. So it's gonna be a while before that's even available, but the bigger issue is I have a warranty on that motor and on that drivetrain for 5 years and 100,000 miles. So really, that's not even a conversation until the warranty is out, because I'm not going to be doing anything to get rid of that warranty and possibly causing more costs for me down the road just by deleting that system, which is probably going to be a $4,000 to $6,000 cost when it were to come out anyway. So yes, you can delete the diesel motors, you can delete those systems out of there, but for now, that's not even an option. So unfortunately, I'm stuck with the DEF system. Now, real quick, before I wrap up, along with that DEF system is the regen cycles that it go through. Now, I know of 2 cycles it's gone through for sure. The first one smelled awful. I definitely knew it was going through a regen, and it did smoke a little bit off of the just the metal components, just burning off some of the solvents and things on there. So it wasn't really too much of a concern, but it does smell pretty bad, and it will affect your gas mileage by probably 15-20%, because it's going to be keeping that motor revved up higher to keep that exhaust hot to be able to burn out all those particulates that are collected in that system. So it's done it, like I said, probably 3 times. I know for sure twice. I think it's done another time, but it doesn't really affect the way I drive any. It's just kind of a nuisance, I guess. You're going to notice a little bit of a smell, a little bit drop in gas mileage, but it's just the truck doing its thing. So again, hopefully we won't have issues with that down the road. And by the way, I normally have a larger camera to do all this stuff on, but unfortunately while filming some stuff on my truck, I broke it. Broke the lens real good and the camera pretty good, so my new camera has not gotten here yet, but yeah, the GoPro's gonna have to do for today. Now back outside here, just some more subjective stuff that I really like about the truck. Now obviously it looks amazing. I love the look of the GMCs. This multi-use tailgate, I didn't know if I was gonna like it at first, but I honestly have used it already a couple times. Loading stuff in here and using this function, and also using the step up and down. My kiddos can use that to get in and out, so that's nice. The one thing I do not like about this tailgate is you cannot lower this down with the tailgate fully down. So okay, let's do this. You cannot lower the tailgate fully down and then drop that top portion down when you have a hitch on there. That will scratch the paint, it will dent the tailgate. Ask me how I know. I may have accidentally done that in the first 24 hours, which really sucked, but it just did a little chip on the paint. I was able to correct that before I did the ceramic coat. But that is one downside. You have got to make sure that you do not have a hitch on there that's going to hit that upper tailgate whenever you drop that down. And like I said, I am going to have a video over these Boost Auto running boards, and with the AT4, I feel like running boards are a necessity. Now I'm pretty tall, I'm 6'4", but I was still having to slide in and out of that seat and kind of hop in there a little bit. This just helps take care of your seat right here on the edge and not wearing that down, having some sort of running board. It doesn't have to be Boost Auto, but I do think these AT4s do well with running boards for getting in and out. Now, the interior on these new trucks is absolutely fantastic. I got the updated version of the interiors. They've got this nice 13-inch screen up front, another 13 or 14-inch screen here in the middle. It is so much better than what they've had here in the past. They used to have just this little 7-inch screen here with all the controls underneath and some air vents on the side. So much better with the interior this year. Great job, GMC. You finally caught up to pretty much every other manufacturer. Now, one thing a little weird about the new interiors is this guy right here. Now, this is the shifter. You push up here to go into park. You go back to go into drive. Shoot it up there to go into reverse. That took some getting used to. I've always had a column shifter. But I will say I got used to this very fast. It's very convenient being down there, and really I have no issues with it now. It was just a little weird going from a column shifter to something like this here on the center console. Now, I will say I've had one issue with the truck, and that is with the interior, and that's with this upper glove box here, because it won't open. Now, I can get it to open. Well, it takes 2 hands. I can get it to open. I need to either see if I can adjust that, or whenever I take this in for its first oil change, they do that for free for new trucks. I'm gonna have them look at that and see if they can adjust it. But really, amazingly, that's been the only issue that I've had with the truck, is that upper glove box not opening for me, which is slightly annoying. So there you go, guys, the first look at my little D. I really hope this video helped you out if you were looking at the LZ0 motor versus the 6.2 gasser, and hopefully my experiences have helped you out a little bit. Again, I've had no issues with the truck and motor so far. I actually really enjoy it going from the gas to diesel. So again, a big upgrade for me in my opinion. If you would, it would mean the world to me and my wife if you could comment down below how much you enjoyed seeing my little D. And again, I'll be having a lot of content. I can't talk. A lot of content coming out on Little D here in the future. So be sure to subscribe for that. I really appreciate you guys watching Life of Bliss, and I will see you soon.